Ladies and gentlemen, one day you will wake up and there will be no more time left to do the things you've always dreamed of. Time is the one resource you can never earn back, no matter how powerful, wealthy, or intelligent you become. And yet, it is the one thing most people treat as if it is unlimited. Every day you wake up with a silent gift placed in your hands, hours, minutes, seconds, and the way you choose to spend them is quietly shaping the direction of your entire life. Most people don't notice this because the changes are not loud or immediate. Wasting an hour scrolling on your phone doesn't feel like failure. Delaying your goals for one more day doesn't feel like loss. But time doesn't measure itself in dramatic moments. It accumulates in small, almost invisible decisions that stack on top of each other until one day you either stand in a life you built with intention or one you drifted into by accident. The truth is, time is always moving forward whether you are ready or not. It doesn't slow down when you feel confused, and it doesn't wait for you to feel motivated. It keeps going, steady and indifferent, and that's what makes it so powerful and so dangerous at the same time. Because if you are not consciously deciding how to use your time, something else will decide for you. Distractions will take over, comfort will take over, other people's priorities will take over. And before you realize it, you're living a life that was shaped by everything except your own intention. Think about how often people say, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I have time." Those words feel harmless, but they carry a hidden cost. Tomorrow is never guaranteed, and even when it comes, it often looks exactly like today because the mindset hasn't changed. The danger isn't in one delay, it's in the pattern of delay. It's in the habit of pushing your life forward as if it will always be there waiting for you, untouched and unchanged. But time doesn't pause while you hesitate. It keeps moving, and with every passing day, opportunities shift, energy changes, and the version of you that could have acted begins to fade. Using your time wisely doesn't mean you have to be productive every second or live under constant pressure. It means being aware. It means recognizing that your time is valuable and treating it with the respect it deserves. It means asking yourself simple but powerful questions. Is this helping me grow? Is this bringing me closer to the life I want? Or is this just filling space? Because there is a difference between resting with purpose and wasting time without awareness. Rest can recharge you, strengthen you, prepare you, but mindless distraction slowly weakens your focus, your discipline, and your sense of direction. When you start valuing your time, your decisions begin to change. You become more intentional about where your energy goes. You stop saying yes to everything and everyone, and you start protecting your hours like they matter, because they do. You begin to understand that every hour spent learning, improving, or building is an investment in your future self. And every hour spent avoiding, delaying, or distracting is a withdrawal from that same future. The most powerful shift happens when you stop seeing time as something you have and start seeing it as something you are constantly using. That subtle change in perspective transforms everything. Instead of asking, "How do I pass the time?" you start asking, "How do I use this time?" And that question alone can separate a life of regret from a life of purpose. Because in the end, your life is nothing more than the collection of moments you chose to use wisely or waste carelessly. Focusing on yourself is one of the most misunderstood concepts in life, yet it is the cornerstone of growth, success, and inner peace. Many people think focusing on themselves is selfish or self-centered, but the reality is quite the opposite. When you truly focus on your own growth, you develop the clarity, strength, and wisdom to impact the world around you in meaningful ways. The problem is, most people spend far too much energy looking outward, comparing themselves to others, worrying about what others think, or chasing someone else's idea of success, while the only person who can truly change their life is themselves. When you shift your attention inward, you stop being distracted by noise and start being guided by intention. You start noticing where your energy is going, what your mind is feeding on, and how your daily habits are shaping your life. Comparison is one of the biggest traps that prevent people from focusing on themselves. Social media, casual conversations, and even professional environments constantly provide reference points that make you feel inadequate or behind. They have this, they are doing that, why am I not there yet? These thoughts are natural, but they are also dangerous because they steal focus from your own path. Every time you compare, you are spending your precious mental energy on someone else's journey instead of building your own. The truth is, your path is unique, Your timing is different, and your growth cannot be measured by another person's achievements. When you begin to focus inward, you understand that the only meaningful comparison is between who you were yesterday and who you are today. Progress, not perfection, becomes the true metric of success. Focusing on yourself also means investing in your personal development consistently. It means dedicating time to learning, self-reflection, and habit formation. It's about understanding your strengths and weaknesses, your values, and your purpose. When you focus on yourself, you begin to see clearly which relationships uplift you and which drain you, which environments support your growth and which hold you back, and which choices move you forward versus which keep you stuck. It's a process of becoming more self-aware, which is the foundation of making better decisions, building healthier relationships, and creating a life that aligns with your true desires. Another critical aspect of focusing on yourself is protecting your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your time, attention, or emotions. When you are clear about your priorities and boundaries, you naturally filter out distractions, negative influences, and toxic interactions. This is not about avoiding people or becoming isolated. It is about creating the space necessary to grow, think, and act with intention. The more disciplined you are in protecting your energy, the more powerful your focus becomes, and the more effectively you can channel it toward building the life you want. Focusing on yourself also requires patience and consistency. Growth does not happen overnight. The transformation that comes from focusing inward is subtle at first. You might not notice it day to day, but over weeks, months, and years, the small, deliberate actions compound into profound change. The mindset of self-focus teaches resilience. It reminds you that you don't need constant validation from others because your growth is driven from within. When you focus on yourself, you learn to enjoy the journey, embrace solitude, and trust that your efforts are not in vain. The inner satisfaction you develop becomes a source of strength, confidence, and clarity, and it allows you to navigate life's challenges without being derailed by external pressures. Ultimately, focusing on yourself is a form of empowerment. It is the act of taking responsibility for your own life, decisions, and outcomes. It allows you to cultivate a sense of purpose and direction that is uniquely yours, free from the comparisons, judgments, and distractions that often dominate modern life. By directing your energy inward, you set the foundation for personal excellence, emotional resilience, and meaningful relationships, because the stronger and clearer you become, the more positively you can influence the world around you. Small daily habits are the invisible architects of your life, quietly shaping your future long before you see any dramatic results. Most people underestimate the power of routine because they focus on big flashy moments of success, landing a dream job, buying a house, or achieving recognition. But the truth is, those milestones are the result of countless small decisions made consistently over time. Every morning you wake up, every action you take, every thought you allow to repeat itself is either contributing to your growth or subtly eroding your potential. Habits are like the compound interest of life. Tiny, often imperceptible actions accumulate exponentially, creating outcomes far beyond what you might expect from any single effort. The way you eat, the way you speak to yourself, the way you spend your free moments, the choices you make when no one is watching, they all matter because over time, they build the person you become and the life you live. The challenge is that habits are often invisible until their impact becomes undeniable. Drinking one extra soda a day, staying up late, scrolling on your phone, skipping workouts, or procrastinating on tasks may seem harmless in isolation. But repeated over months or years, these small actions determine whether you live with vitality or struggle with mediocrity. On the other hand, dedicating just 15 minutes to reading, journaling, exercising, meditating, or reflecting each day may feel insignificant in the moment, but over time, these small positive habits compound into profound personal transformation. The difficulty lies not in the action itself, but in consistency, staying committed when results are not immediately visible, and resisting the temptation to revert to old, comfortable patterns that feel easier. Another important aspect of habits is that they shape your identity more than they shape outcomes. When you consistently perform small positive actions, you begin to see yourself differently. Your self-image aligns with your behaviors, reinforcing the cycle of growth. For example, someone who chooses to exercise every morning doesn't just gain fitness, they begin to see themselves as someone disciplined and capable. Someone who dedicates a few minutes daily to learning feels smarter and more confident over time. Habits anchor your identity in action, turning intentions into reality without relying solely on willpower. Conversely, neglecting positive habits reinforces doubt, laziness, and stagnation, creating a cycle that is hard to break. This is why focusing on daily habits is more important than waiting for motivation to strike or inspiration to arrive. The habits themselves create the structure that allows motivation to thrive. Consistency in habits also cultivates resilience. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will arise that test your focus, patience, and determination. People who have built strong habits find that they are less likely to be derailed because their growth is not dependent on fleeting feelings or external circumstances. Habits create a baseline of discipline that sustains you when motivation fades. They provide a framework that allows you to keep moving forward even on days when everything feels difficult or progress seems slow. Small, repeated actions, especially when done in alignment with your values and goals, gradually create momentum, and momentum is what ultimately leads to breakthroughs in personal and professional life. The most powerful transformation comes when you pair awareness with habit. It's not enough to simply repeat actions mechanically. You must understand why you are doing them, how they serve your larger vision, and what impact they have on your life. Reflection ensures that your habits are aligned with your goals, and alignment guarantees that the compound effect of your daily actions is working for you rather than against you. This awareness also allows you to identify and eliminate habits that drain your energy, time, or focus, replacing them with small actions that contribute to growth. By consciously designing your routines, you gain control over your future because your habits are the building blocks of the life you will eventually live. Small daily habits, repeated with intention and consistency, are not just actions, they are the foundation upon which success, fulfillment, and resilience are built. They turn ordinary days into extraordinary outcomes, and ordinary people into capable, empowered individuals. The difference between those who achieve their goals and those who don't is rarely talent or luck. It is the persistent, deliberate investment in the small actions that compound over time. Protecting your energy and attention is one of the most important yet overlooked aspects of personal growth and success. Every day, you are surrounded by countless distractions, demands, and influences that compete for your focus, from social media notifications to casual conversations, from negative environments to draining relationships. Each of these elements may seem small on its own, but cumulatively, they shape the way you think, feel, and act, often without your conscious awareness. Energy is finite. Attention is scarce. Once either is consumed carelessly, it cannot be recovered, and the consequences show up in lost time, decreased productivity, and diminished emotional well-being. The people, environments, and activities you allow into your life either fuel your growth or deplete your vitality, and the choice of which they become is ultimately yours. Protecting your energy is not an act of selfishness. It is a conscious decision to invest in yourself so you can show up fully in your life and for the people and goals that truly matter. The first step in protecting your energy is awareness. Many people go through their days on autopilot, reacting to external stimuli rather than intentionally choosing where their focus goes. They say yes to every request, participate in every conversation, and consume every piece of content, believing they must do so to keep up or stay connected. But this constant yielding to external demands leads to mental exhaustion, emotional fatigue, and a scattered sense of purpose. Becoming aware of what drains you requires honest reflection and self-assessment. Which conversations leave you feeling uplifted, inspired, or energized? Which ones leave you stressed, doubtful, or depleted? Which activities move you closer to your goals and which pull you away from them? Awareness is the first line of defense because you cannot protect something you do not recognize as vulnerable. Boundaries are the practical application of this awareness. Learning to say no is not about being rude, unkind, or disconnected. It is about honoring the value of your own energy. Every time you say yes to something unnecessary, irrelevant, or draining, you are saying no to something essential: your time, your focus, and your growth. Boundaries allow you to prioritize what truly matters, to create space for habits, projects, and relationships that align with your purpose. They provide a framework for maintaining consistency in your daily actions and preventing external chaos from dictating your internal state. Protecting your energy through boundaries is not a one-time act. It is a continuous practice that requires courage, clarity, and commitment. Equally important is the conscious choice of environments and influences. The people you surround yourself with, the media you consume, and the places you spend your time all have a direct impact on your mindset and behavior. Positive environments, those that inspire, challenge, and support you, multiply your energy and motivation. Negative environments, those filled with cynicism, distraction, or stagnation, drain you slowly, often without your realizing it. By curating your surroundings, you create a life in which your focus can flourish rather than being constantly sabotaged. This may involve spending more time with mentors, reducing time on social media, or distancing yourself from toxic influences. The energy you preserve becomes a reservoir for creativity, discipline, and action, fueling the pursuit of your goals. Protecting your energy also involves internal management. Not all drains are external. Negative self-talk, worry, overthinking, and fear are internal forces that consume attention and vitality. By cultivating mindfulness, emotional awareness, and self-discipline, you learn to recognize when your energy is being depleted from within and take steps to restore balance. Meditation, reflection, journaling, and intentional focus are tools that help maintain internal clarity. The more you strengthen your ability to manage your own mind, the less vulnerable you become to external chaos, and the more effective you are at directing your energy toward what truly matters. Ultimately, protecting your energy is about creating leverage for your life. When you control what you allow in, when you decide where your focus goes, and when you actively guard your time and attention, you multiply your capacity for meaningful action. People who master this skill are not only more productive, they are calmer, more present, and more aligned with their purpose. They move through life with clarity rather than distraction, power rather than depletion, and intentionality rather than reaction. Every choice to protect your energy compounds over time, building momentum that fuels personal growth, resilience, and fulfillment. Taking full responsibility for your life is one of the most powerful steps you can take toward personal growth and true freedom. Many people spend their days blaming circumstances, other people, or luck for their current situation, convincing themselves that success, happiness, or fulfillment depends on factors beyond their control. While external factors do influence life to some extent, the deeper truth is that the quality of your life is determined far more by the decisions you make, the actions you take, and the mindset you cultivate than by any external event. Every day you are faced with choices, both big and small, that shape your future, and the sooner you embrace responsibility for these choices, the sooner you gain control over your destiny. Accepting that no one is coming to save you, that no magic solution exists, and that your results are a direct reflection of your own actions is liberating. It puts the power firmly in your hands and allows you to stop waiting and start acting. Responsibility begins with self-awareness. You must first recognize where your life currently stands, honestly assessing your strengths, weaknesses, habits, and patterns of thought. It's easy to gloss over areas of weakness or justify mistakes, but true growth comes from clarity, and clarity comes from acknowledging reality without excuses. By being honest with yourself, you gain insight into what is working, what is holding you back, and what needs to change. This awareness also allows you to identify the decisions that have led you to where you are, helping you understand the direct link between choice and consequence. Without this step, it is impossible to fully accept responsibility, because the mind tends to deflect blame and externalize failure whenever it can. Once you understand your situation, responsibility requires action. You can no longer wait for someone else to motivate you, for circumstances to improve, or for opportunities to fall into your lap. Your life is shaped by what you do consistently, not by what you hope will happen. Every decision, even the smallest one, has ripple effects over time. Choosing to invest in your skills, improve your habits, or manage your time intentionally directly impacts your growth. Conversely, choosing procrastination, distraction, or avoidance steadily erodes your potential. By embracing responsibility, you stop waiting for permission, validation, or external approval. You begin to take deliberate action toward the life you want, understanding that you are accountable for both your successes and failures. Taking responsibility also requires mental discipline. It is easy to blame stress, fatigue, or negative circumstances when life feels overwhelming, but doing so diminishes your power to create change. Instead, acknowledging that you are responsible for your thoughts, your choices, and your responses to challenges allows you to cultivate resilience and focus. When difficulties arise, responsible individuals do not fall into victimhood. They analyze the situation, make strategic decisions, and adjust their approach while maintaining ownership of the outcomes. This mindset transforms obstacles into opportunities because it shifts your energy from complaining or resisting to acting and learning. Another critical dimension of responsibility is the understanding that your growth affects those around you. When you take control of your life, you not only improve your own circumstances, but also positively influence the people and environments you interact with. Leadership, mentorship, and inspiration begin with self-mastery. By taking responsibility for yourself, you model accountability and intentionality for others, creating a ripple effect that extends beyond your personal life. The people who succeed in any area of life understand that their influence grows in proportion to their ownership of their own actions and decisions. Ultimately, embracing responsibility is about empowerment. It removes the illusion of dependency on luck, circumstances, or other people, and replaces it with the reality that you have the ability to shape your future through conscious decisions. It allows you to stop waiting for external factors to change and to start creating the change yourself. It teaches resilience, patience, and strategic thinking because life will always present challenges, but when you own your choices, you gain the power to navigate them effectively. Responsibility transforms fear into confidence, excuses into actions, and limitations into possibilities, because when you realize that your life is in your hands, you stop asking for permission and start designing your own path.